All right. Well, thank you so much for joining us this evening for our virtual hangout. A lot of times when people are considering running for regional office, they have a lot of questions, they're just unsure, and who better to hear about the experience from than people who've done it. And so I've got three prior regional officers on here this evening. The show really is all about them, as well as the rest of you, so that you have an opportunity to ask any questions you may have. We'll go ahead and let them introduce themselves. I'll start with a couple of questions. As you have questions, please put them in the chat, because this is for y'all, to make sure you have the information you need about running for and serving in this position. And I'm going to go ahead and say we start with the Queen. So, Lavada.
I like that. I like that one. That's a nice introduction, the Queen.
Yeah.
So my name's Lavada Burse, and I was the regional president 2020 to 20, hold
Mhm.
on,
Yep, you're right.
2020, 2021.
Uh-huh.
No, 19 to 2020.
Oh, you were Lavada 2020. Yeah.
Right?
Yeah, it
Why am
started.
I not remembering this? Oh my goodness.
Okay, hang on. No, international president was 2021. That's why we're getting
Okay.
confused.
Okay.
1920 was regional president.
So I got the pandemic in my head. So that's why I always go to 2020 first. So
Yeah.
19 to 2020.
Mhm.
Um, Came from Grayson College, Omicron Side Chapter. Um, yeah, and that's it. Happy to be here.
And obviously served as international president because even Linda
Yes.
got confused. What are you gonna do? What are you gonna do? All right, Ethan, you want to go next?
Sure thing. My name is Ethan Hall. I'm from the Omicron Psi chapter at Grayson College. I had the pleasure of serving as the District 2 Vice President in the 2024-2025 year.
Excellent. Glad we know that. It's a little easier. Time passes. Years get confused. And then, of course, last but not least, we have Mr. Raymond Philip. If you'd like to introduce yourself.
Yes, thank you. My name is Raymond Philip, and I was the substitute of the Texas Region Calling College
Uh-uh.
chapter. Uh, I came in representing District 1
Yes.
Vice President for the 2024-2025 year, right? Right?
Yes. Yes,
Yeah,
you and Ethan served together.
yeah, yes.
I
And
would
then,
hope so, because then I'm questioning my memory.
yeah.
I'm telling
And
you.
then,
Yeah,
yeah, that's it. That's it.
that's it. Do you hold a position now?
No, I'm just a very
Mm.
poor boy. Anyways, okay. I am Dr. Lin's kind of like merchant. So yeah, I'm just a messenger boy
Uh-huh.
for the Division 2, for the Division 2.
Yeah, okay, thank you.
I'm the current international vice president for Division 2.
Yes, thank you very much. Oh my gosh. Who knew that the introductions would be the hard part? I thought the questions were harder. Oh Lord. All right, so as I said, we'll go ahead and get started. I've got a couple of questions to get us going. Please again, if you have any questions, if you're joining us now, then please put those in the chat. As we continue, we'll get to those. If you're watching the recording of this, well, I guess you got to email us your questions, because I will not be answering in real time in the comments, just managing your expectations on that. All right, so my first question is, if you had to describe the RO experience in 3 words, what would they be?
We're gonna let Raymond go first.
Excellent.
Well, why me?
You're the current IO.
Yes.
Wonderful. All right. I would say the first thing that came into my mind before even thinking about the other two is patience, and then kind of like responsibility and fun.
Okay.
Yes, those are the 3 words. So I would say patience because during my RO experience, my RO term, I learned that there are people who are more patient than me. That is Cassie. So yeah, Cassie is the most patient person I've ever met because
That's
yeah,
true.
you're gonna have to deal with Cassie a lot because she's the person who approves your what is that? Your newsletter.
Newsletter.
So, and the newsletter, it has a lot of back and forth. So, and she's gonna crush your heart sometimes. She's gonna make you feel good if you do good. But yeah, that is something that requires a lot of patience because there are sometimes she's gonna be like, oh, just change one comma. And then she's gonna be like, oh, just change one full stop. I'm like, really, could you just put a blind eye to that? But
Yep.
no. And then there are times that she's gonna be like, redo the whole thing.
Mhm.
So you can't be like, Cassie, I'm not redoing the whole thing. So it's like you can't snap on Cassie. She's just Cassie.
No,
And then I would say
we protect Kathy.
responsibility. I would say responsibility because, well, as Professor Linda said, I don't know, she hasn't said anything. What she's gonna tell you is that she's gonna give you tasks and then she's gonna expect you to deliver. So you're gonna have to put in some work, and if you fail, then you have to take responsibility of that. And also be a responsible person to give what she gave you in time. So that, and the fun is just, I don't know, that's a personal opinion because I try to find fun in everything I do. So yeah, during my term, I try to experience it as the most fun experience that I could, and I loved it. I
Nice.
went in with a deal, I came out with a lot. So yeah.
Excellent. All right. Who wants to share their 3 words next?
I'll go next. So I would say opportunity,
Mhm.
also growth
Mhm.
and legacy.
Aw.
Opportunity because you before you get into this role, you really don't understand how big of an opportunity that this role can provide for you. Not just learning, but like my second word, growth. You're going to grow as a person. I grew as a mom. I grew as what I am now, an accountant. As a student, you grow in so many ways that you don't even know. So it's such a great opportunity when you get into this position, and then also legacy because you can leave your legacy on the Texas region for years to come. And so, those are my 3 words.
Nice. All right, Ethan.
I would say the 3 words I would use would be exciting, challenging, and rewarding. I would say exciting because the work you do as a regional officer, it's a lot. There are a lot of things that regional officers do in their role, but the work is genuinely exciting to do. Planning the different conferences, building those newsletters, even though, as Raymond would say, Cassie does end up breaking your heart. It is genuinely fun to come up with designs and different things for them and getting to run the conferences, getting to be on stage. Like there are so many exciting aspects of being an RO. You will find the fun in being an RO. Um, in addition to that, it's also a lot. It can be really challenging, especially when you are managing your school schedule, when you're managing other life obligations such as your job, family, if you do any volunteer work. It can feel sometimes overwhelming, and what's and you'll really find what you're made of in doing the work. It's a really great way to push yourself further than you could really think possible. And when you come to the other side of it, you'll really see the growth. You'll see the impact that you've made. And it's when like it's kind of hard to say. It's like it was so challenging. It was so challenging, and yet when my term was over, I like cried because I knew I was going to miss it so much because it was that rewarding to me.
Nice. All right. So for my next question, what's one thing you didn't expect about serving as a regional officer?
If we can serpentine this, I'll go first since I
Sure.
went last. Um, I was blown away by how kind and understanding people were. It's very easy when you are doing all this work and you're planning the conferences and on top of everything, it's so easy to feel overwhelmed by what you have to do. But what really struck me was just the kindness that the region offered from the Texas leadership team, always willing to step in and support. Like so many members during my time reached out to me and just offered such kind and encouraging messages that I really needed on some really bad days. And then I had such an incredible regional officer team that's become lifelong friends. And so that was really like, I was just blown away by the kindness of the region.
Nice.
I would say I expected to do some planning for regional events. I didn't expect to do all of the planning for regional events. And so you really get to start from beginning, I mean from the bottom all the way to the top on planning everything from workshops to speakers to times, rooms, anything, any type of programming, anything that you can name, the regional officers plan. And I expected to come in and like plan small bits, but I didn't expect to plan the entire thing. And like, Ethan said, it's so rewarding when you come out on the other side of it and you see, wow, this is what we did. Like, especially going in it when you've never planned anything before. Like, I'm not a planner. My best friend, she takes care of it. I'd say, where do I pay? What time do I leave? That's what I do. So being able to plan an event from top to bottom and then it, I won't say flow easy, but it it's it goes through smoothly. Everything that you set out to do, your intentions for the programming comes through. And when you come out on the other side, it's definitely rewarding. So I didn't expect to plan as much as we planned. I expected some planning, but not all of the planning. And so, yeah.
Nice.
So, my answer might upset Professor Linda a little bit, but anyways, I didn't expect how much. Well, my answer is almost the same as Ethan's. I didn't expect how much nice people were, and that's why I cut a deal to get into the the regional position, because I was expecting people to be so kind of like strict. Because of course, this is almost as a job. So you're getting into a place where people are going to be giving you tasks and they expect something. So I was like, I don't want to have that much responsibility on top of my head. So, but it is a place where if you mess up and you actually, well, if you mess up because of your actions, well, they're gonna say something. But if you mess up because you tried your best and it still didn't come out the way they wanted it, they're gonna work with you to help you make it better and not help you and not make you like, hey, okay, you did this much, better luck next time. So they're gonna try to work with you and say that, okay, next time you do it, try to do it this way because this is the best way that we think works. And if you apply the ways that they help you with, of course, they'll bring out positive outcome. So yeah, I didn't expect people to be that much willing to work with you. So yeah.
Now, why would that upset me? Oh my goodness.
Could I
Because
add something to
because
that?
it was you who was afraid of. When I was coming, I was like, I don't want to deal with her. I was
Oh
like, she's
my
gonna
gosh.
scream at me. She's gonna tell me things. I'm like, I'm not ready for that.
And for the record, did I ever scream at you?
Yeah, she did. So one
Oh
day
my gosh.
no,
You
she
know
didn't.
when? On February 2nd, 2026.
No,
That's
she
when
didn't.
it
She was
happened.
a person who like she takes care of you guys the best, and she uses too much money of PTK. So yeah.
Oh my gosh. Oh, whatever. All right. Ethan, yes, you wanted to add on.
One thing I wanted to touch on I pointed this way. Technically, Lavada is this way and not Raymond,
Ah,
so it'll be really funny. But no, to add on to what Raymond said, one kind of everything in being a regional officer is a learning opportunity.
Mhm.
And the Texas leadership team takes great pride in teaching the regional officers. And that that's something that's really apparent from the get-go is they are going to be some of your biggest supporters and cheerleaders, and they are going to work with you to get you to where you need to be. Now, is it hard? Absolutely. But they do it because they care not just about you as a regional officer, but they care about the region. So I really would just wanted to emphasize that the Texas leadership team takes a certain pride in teaching.
Yes, because not only are you leading, but this is for you all to learn, right, as well. So absolutely. Okay, so for my next question, and John, I do see your question. I'm going to ask that, but I want to ask this one next. What does an RO actually do beyond what people see? Because look, we see you on stage, right? We see newsletters that y'all produce. What else?
Blood, sweat, and tears. Um, it's a lot. It's a lot more time intensive than you would think. I know speaking on my personal experience, one thing mine and Raymond's regional officer team did is we would, well, one, you have regular meetings with Professor Linder and Dr. Hardis, the regional associate regional coordinators. You in between those, our regional officer team, we had meetings of our own where we would discuss ideas, we would work on stuff together. Those newsletters, they were fun to design, but it would there don't shake it. They were fun to design. Putting everything in was the tough part. The designs were fun. Um, but yeah, building the newsletters took a while. And planning the events, like I love how Lavada mentioned like every little detail. Sometimes meetings with Professor Linder and Dr. Hardis would be solely about those little details.
Mhm.
So there's a lot of time and effort that goes into everything in being a regional officer. So that's the biggest thing is it's a lot. And that could honestly be its own webinar.
And then also, the regional officers speak at inductions. They speak at district meetings. They hold district meetings. What else? I know is other speaking engagements. The TCCTA. Ooh, I said it right. There's a speech at the end of the year that you get the opportunity to audition to speak for as well. Um, what else? What else? What else? What else did we get to do? It's so many different things that you get to do. Oh, so you also plan goals, just like you would at your chapter levels. You plan your goals and your intentions for the Texas region at the beginning of the year, and then throughout the year at each of the conferences and convention, you would actually put those plans into action. And district meetings or whatever you guys come up with that you want to put into action, you put that into action throughout the year, and then at the end of the year you write your hallmarks. So just like you have your chapter hallmarks, you still have regional hallmarks as well.
Yeah.
Wow.
So everything that Lavada and Ethan said, basically.
Oh my
No,
gosh.
it's a lot of I wanna say it is a lot of back end action, which is yeah. So unlike Ethan, who liked designing the newsletters, I didn't like it because I am not what. If you are a PR person and you like designing things, oh my God, you're gonna love this part. You're gonna love it so much because you're gonna work with like if it is Valentine's, you have to put like Valentine's things in there
You don't
and
have
everything.
to.
I don't know. Anyways, okay, if you don't have to, your team members are gonna make you look like you
No,
don't know
that's
anything. You
fair.
live under a rock. So, Yeah, I was one of those people who I don't know. I care about the material. I don't care about the decorations. And my team members would just make me look like I don't know anything about designing, which I was fine with. But anyways, you're gonna be designing a lot of these newsletters, which you have to put in some extra work apart from your studies and apart from your daily life. So there's a lot of night calls that you're gonna have with your fellow team members that you're gonna have to kind of like just consult each other and say that, okay, I like this, I don't like this, and everything. And also you're gonna have to plan uh whenever you come up with the workshops, you're gonna have to find the people to participate in those workshops. You're gonna have to, and sometimes if the people that don't participate, you're gonna have to end up throwing that workshop to yourself because the workshop has to be there. So yeah, it's a lot of these small things. For example, the thank you letters that the speakers and the universities get, those are going to be your responsibilities as ROs to write. You're going to have to write those thank you letters, and those letters sometimes would take us all the way to midnight just writing them. And then you also have to be there. Like when I say be there during conferences, yeah, conferences. During conferences, you have to actually be there. Lavada is gonna be the lady in the back. She's not gonna be like, "Oh, I'm gonna help you carry this board and take it somewhere." No, she's gonna be like, "You need to take that board somewhere, and you have to figure out where to take it." So you have to be that person who is always on call. If you hear something is wrong somewhere, go handle it. If you can't handle it, take it above you, which above you is the leadership team. So ask someone from the leadership team, which is people like Lavada, uh, Professor Linder, but don't go to her. Make her your last resort because she'll kick you out. But yeah, it is people like, so it is just like that. It's like a lot of back end actions, small things that matter.
They do. I think that there's the reason I wanted to include that question is because a lot of times people see what you do on the stage, right? And that's 10% of what you actually do in this role. It's all the other stuff to make those things happen that I don't think you recognize, and you've all kind of alluded to this until you're in the position. And then you see all of these things. I also find it funny, Raymond, that you said that you don't like to create things. What do you do for your job?
Mm-hmm.
We're not going to talk about that because
Oh, okay, okay. Maybe create things and produce them.
hey, that job is just
Hey.
you just create something and then you tell that, hey man, this is the
Mm-hmm.
best I can do. Well, you know that you can do better, but you're like, I don't want to go into the hard part and everything and spend like 3 hours creating this. So this is the best that I can do.
Oh my
But I bet you are so much better at it because of those newsletters that Cassie gave back to you 4 or 5 times.
That's true. That's
I
true. I
know.
I was
Yeah.
better at it.
God.
And
Y'all are being hard on Cassie, but she's helping you grow. It's growth.
That's
yeah,
right.
It
she
it,
did.
it
She
is a
did.
lot of
I'm
work.
this.
No, it is a lot of work as a regional officer, but it's very doable if you manage your time well.
Yeah. Well, so that brings us to a question that I had and that John has also touched on as well. So his is kind of in two parts. So I'm going to do the second part first and then we'll talk about the other one. Okay. So it's about balance, right? So, how did you find a way to balance school, work, family, all the things while being an RO? Because you've all spoken of like it's work, obviously it was manageable, you did it, so how did you find the balance to do the things?
It involves saying no to some things. That was a key thing in taking this role.
Mhm.
Um, so prior to becoming a uh, regional officer, um, I had I had a job where I worked about 30 hours a week. I was not only involved in Phi Theta Kappa, but I was involved in a ton of different organizations on campus. I often would help my family out. So it involved saying no to a lot of things and keeping an incredibly detailed calendar.
Mhm. Yep. Planning.
Yes.
I will admit, when I first started, it was rough
Mhm.
because I didn't have good time management skills. Um, it was very overwhelming because I have a son. Well, I have two sons. Um, but I had a smaller son at the time. And being a caretaker, if anyone's a caretaker on here, you understand that sometimes you have something planned and then drop of a dime, it changes. And so in the beginning, it was kind of hard. I kept saying, how do you put this on a planner if it continues to change? Like, what do you do to make it better? And I love when Professor Linder did the time management, like kind of like a little workshop for us. That definitely helped to get on schedule. And then the teammates help you stay on schedule as well. You don't want to let each other down. And so I remember a time when all of us were sick and it was crazy. I don't know what was in the air all over Texas, but all of us were sick except for one. And we did this thing on Mondays where they were called Monday Minders. So we would, instead of like putting out a post or something, we would come on with the video and remind you of things that are coming up for the week or for the month or whatever every Monday. And we were all sick and we were just like, we just can't do it. Like, I was like, I can do it, but it's going to sound horrible and I'm going to look horrible, but I'll do it. And so one of our team members, Dusty, stepped up and she actually made all of our videos and she took on our personality and did the videos, which made it, 100 times more funnier. Um, but just having each other's back as well, because things happen. Like, who knew all of us were going to be sick? We didn't know that, so we couldn't plan ahead and say, "Let me record my Monday Minder ahead. I'm gonna be sick." So, just having teamwork, communication, and just working with each other, that also helps you with balancing what you're working on. Because something may come up that wasn't on your radar on the schedule before, and if you just let your teammates know, they can help you, and then in turn, you can help them as well if something comes up. So that's how I end up balancing. Just getting on a planner, getting on a schedule, and then if something come up, just communicate with the rest of the team.
Yeah, and y'all just handled that on your own. I didn't know till I saw 5 different videos of Dusty.
Yeah, it was so funny when she started doing everybody. I was just like, oh my goodness.
It was great.
All right. So I have a different way. So I would say you start with a pre-analysis. A pre-analysis includes kind of like weighing out your options. So you do know, let's say, hypothetically speaking, let's say you know that you have two jobs. You're also taking care of your, let's say, your mother, and then you also have some kind of like an extracurricular activity that you do, let's say on a Saturday. And I would say if that is your daily life, don't do this because you're gonna mess up one of your things. You're either gonna mess up your job, or you're gonna mess up your service project, or you're gonna mess up this. So once you pre-analyze what you have, let's say you are a student who goes to school for classes, let's say twice a week, and after that you work, let's say 3 times a week, and your job is flexible. If your job is flexible and you're like, okay, I have some kind of free time, of course, do this. And then once you have done that part and you have figured out that part, once you get in, always be a person who is willing to collaborate with people. So, for example, the same way that Lavada said that she was able to, that her colleague, Dusty, was able to do all of those videos. If Dusty didn't know Lavada or any other person in the team that well, she would have been like, well, I don't know, man. They're sick. I can't do anything. It's just I know them, but I don't know them like that. But because she knows them and she's like, okay, well, Lavada will say this, this, and this. And she's like, okay, I can take that leap of faith and do this. So someone else might be willing to step up for you even when you drop the ball. So how do you work on balance? I would just say that, yeah, just pre-analyze your workload or your life load. And then once you get in, be that person who is willing to adapt for others, and also that person who others are willing to adapt for you, because that's how you're going to be able to lift each other up during this whole thing.
You got to be a teammate and also be willing to ask for help when needed.
The asking for help is a little bit, I don't know. Some people had to learn and saying
Yeah,
no.
a lot of Phi Theta Kappans.
Yeah. And also what Ethan said, saying no, you have to learn that. If you don't say no, yeah, you're gonna piss off some people.
No is a complete sentence. I mean, it's better to know in the beginning. See, y'all were all talking about various Texas truths and made my heart so happy. But y'all were, you have to know in the beginning, yes, I can do this, right? So that I agree with Raymond about taking a real look at what's going on in your life, yes, when you're going into it, but while you're serving as well. And so if somebody's like, hey, can you do this? And you're like, I got 3 tests next week. I absolutely cannot do that. It's better to be upfront about that in the beginning than to say, sure, and then drop the ball and let people down, right? So yeah, I think you have to take a real look. I think balance was a word I repeatedly said to Lavada for the entire year. And look, I'm the first one to admit that I'm out of balance quite often. I
Yeah, she
endeavor
is.
to do better.
Yeah, she is.
Oh my gosh. All right. So the other part of John's question was about serving as an RO and also having an officer role in your chapter. Would you recommend or not recommend?
If it is a small role, I would say yes. It is good to stay involved in your chapter, um, because you're going to need the support system. Being a regional officer, it's an interesting thing because you are the RO, right? You and your fellow teammates, you are the ROs, and you have all of these people around you who are ready to support you. But you have to be willing to let them support you, and your chapter is going to be a vital piece of your support system. So if you can find if staying involved with your chapter means taking a small officer role, I would highly recommend it. It's what I did. But even so, just staying involved with your chapter and maintaining that support system is the most important thing.
Anybody else?
That was the answer.
That was the answer. I mean, I'm going to speak from kind of my perspective on this as well. But um, I often will tell people I recommend not chapter president. However, that being said, I don't like when people make assumptions about me and what I'm capable of. So I would never tell somebody not to do something. People know their own capabilities. But I would strongly caution about taking a real look before trying to be a regional officer and chapter president at the same time. But I think that with time management and depending on what your schedule is, what level of flexibility you have in some things, I definitely think you can serve in other officer positions. Just chapter president has a lot of responsibilities that could put you way out of balance very quickly. But I do agree that it is very important to be involved with your chapter because how are you going to get on a stage in front of the region and talk to them about doing honors in action and college project if you're not involved in those things as well, right? How are you going to advocate for completing the EDGE programs if you aren't doing some of the EDGE programs, right? So being engaged in programming, being engaged in your chapter is really important. Otherwise, you're just really disingenuous when you're telling people do these things, but I'm not doing them. It's not good leadership. That is for certain. All right, so I guess my next question is going to be, what skills did you gain while serving as an RO or from serving as an RO?
The list is so long. Communication skills, public speaking skills, planning, um, time management skills, conflict resolution skills.
Yeah.
Because there were times when sometimes you and your team didn't quite see eye to eye. So definitely conflict resolution skills. Guys, jump in there. What else? Um,
Jump in, Ethan.
Thank you. Jump on.
Uh, um,
She said all of
definitely
them.
right. Well, no, the thing is, I clicked, and then like I had the thought, and it immediately went out the other ear.
Huh. It
It
run
does that
it
sometimes.
runned away.
No, heavy emphasis on communication. Like you will not be able to do your job effectively if even if you're not great at communication now, be willing to learn because you will have to a lot. Um, and whether that's just speaking to people, writing emails, messaging, like there's so much communication you do as a regional officer. Um, Team building. Um, Lavada mentioned conflict resolution, but actually like getting to know your other regional officers because y'all are spread out and um y'all come from all different walks of life.
Yeah.
Like getting to really know your team and getting to build that camaraderie and the relationships um, to work in to work with a diverse team, not just as part of your regional officers, but with the Texas Regional Leadership Team. You're going to be working with people with of different experience levels. So you'll be exposed to a lot. With newsletters, you'll be designing things. So that one in particular, because don't ever ask me to do anything artsy related. It will not turn out great. And that was the thing I really dreaded going into it as a regional officer. Um, but those skills were way better than when they started.
Uh, I don't know if this is much of a skill, but anyways, I one thing that I took as a skill from from RO is that everybody has their expertise, and you have to know that. So, I mean, I don't know. I don't think you have to know that. I don't know how it works. It's just in our team. I'm speaking solely from our team. We had at least someone for everything, which when it gets to that point, they would help out the most, and you just see them shine. In terms of conflict resolution, we had, I don't know if it was Stephanie or Dominica, I don't know, one of those two. And in terms of like leading, we had Kaylee and Ethan. In terms of knowing when we are stuck, well, we had Ethan. And then in terms of like, for example, like making the team come from that confused state to a state where we're like, okay, let's just calm down and figure out what we're supposed to do. We had Kaylin. So it was like everybody was strong at something. And because we had such kind of small things that everybody was kind of like better at, once you just learn to take the not take the fall, take the knee and let someone else do what they I don't know, it sounds weird, but no, like do what they do best. Sometimes it might work out good for you.
Leaning
A
into
good
strength.
situation is, huh?
Leaning into strengths.
Mhm.
Yep.
Yeah, I think maybe that's, but because a good example is like there's this one time we were writing thank you letters and we were all kind of like baffled, or like I don't know what to write and everything. And then Ethan was just like, well, why don't you start with this? And they're like, okay. So we started with one, and then Dominic was like, okay, actually, now I see, you know? And it all became with just Ethan saying a small sentence. And that is all because he decided to like, okay, let me just step up a little bit and do this. And it's just small moments like that. So you just have to learn when to kind of like fall back and recuperate and then go back to your activities.
I'm actually really glad you brought that up. It made me think of another skill that I personally felt grew in my time as an RO, and that was personal reflection. You, there's so much you do. There's so many ways you grow as a regional officer. Take the time to pause and really see the growth as it's happening. And in a lot of ways, Raymond mentioned leveraging strengths. one thing I had to really learn to do, one thing I really had to wrestle with was learning when to step back and let others shine. Because I'm somebody like, hey, I can do that, like I can help out, I can jump in, like that's me. And as Professor Linder would say, that's a very easy way to get out of balance really fast. And so I had to really kind of wrestle with that because it wasn't about my capabilities, but it was about am I putting myself out of balance? And is me doing everything not letting others have an opportunity? So there's a lot of personal reflection that you do. And especially towards the end of your term, I'm going to say when you audition for the TCCTA speech, because if you should, even if you don't plan to participate, you should write this speech because it is an incredible personal reflection exercise. You really dig deep into who you are as a person, how you got to this point, and you'll learn so much about yourself. And you learn to be really proud and appreciative of all the work you put in. So personal reflection is something I really grew in as an RO.
Nice. So John asked another question. How did y'all feel actually campaigning, presenting, writing, doing this, the skit, the speech, all of that?
I
Raymond's
felt
very
great.
excited.
I felt great because I did it twice. That's
Yeah.
how long I've been in Coin. Man, I need to leave. Anyways, yeah, it is a great experience because I don't know, for me, I just like whenever everybody's just doing something, and it was kind of fun and nice to watch my advisors participate in the skit and everything like that. That
Mhm.
was something that is fun and is nice. And that's why I urge full support whenever you're running for something like this. Even though RO you're running as a chapter, it is always either an idea of someone or an idea of, let's say, like an advisor to say, let's run for RO. But it is normally very nice whenever everybody is like, hey, yes, let's do this. Like we want to do this. We want to win. We want to, like, I don't know, we want to do something that is gonna make us kind of like, I don't know. I don't know. I'm not getting the right words to use, but anyways, it's like it was nice for me to see my advisor who never does not that he never does anything. It's just he's a person who does everything on the background and he never does anything up front. Dr. B, it was well the last time that he did it. It was nice seeing him on stage and kind of like participating in the skit. So that was something nice. And not only that, is that once if the whole chapter is in on it, people are gonna see that and they're gonna be like, yeah, these people actually want to win, or these people actually they have invested a lot of time into it. But then if just one person wants to do it and the chapter is like, I don't think it's a good idea, you're also gonna see that. So yeah, I think it is a great experience if the whole chapter is in it. I don't know if I answered
Yeah.
the question.
No, I agree. It was a great bonding experience for our chapter. I think we bonded more as a group during rehearsals and just practicing. Because sometimes you have new members who join at the last not at the last minute, but in a semester, and we've already done all the projects, so they don't really know what's going on with the projects, and so just filling them in on what we've done. Getting to learn them more, they're getting to learn us more, and just having those fellowship and funny moments, just rehearsing. You can really tell when you're on the campaign floor that, like Raymond said, that chapter is cohesive and they're a great chapter for that'll be a good fit for that position. You could tell when everybody's in on it. So
Yeah. It is fun if you allow it to be fun.
Mhm.
I've gotten to participate in two and gotten to see many more. You can tell when a chapter's having fun.
yeah.
Because I mean, I just think to my experiences running, we did a whole we did a whole Doctor Who themed campaign. It was one of the silliest things I have ever done, and it was the most some of the most fun I've ever had. Like have fun with it. Um, there's obviously we want you to seriously campaign for the role of regional officer, right? We want you to be serious candidates. Have fun. It is it is such an amazing experience to campaign. Also, you get to meet a lot of people you would have never other met. I cannot tell you how many friends I made because they came up to my table. I got to meet them and interact with them, and then kept seeing them at other PTK events. But we were friends by that point. Um, so there are a lot of fun positives that come with campaigning if you allow it to be fun. Find the fun, as Professor Linder would say. Find the fun.
Fun. All right. So, what support did you rely on most while serving as a regional officer?
No one. People are gonna pull you down. Don't rely on nobody. No, I'm just joking. Don't do that. But no, I think rely on everybody. Well, don't. Okay, when I say rely, it sounds. I don't know. In my mind, rely is a little bit like you're gonna do everything and I'm gonna do nothing. But it's not like that. I would say rely on them whenever you need help. And that's when I wanted to say before where it is like learn to ask for help. You're not in this by yourself. When you're campaigning, you are in this with the whole chapter. So you need the support from your chapter advisors, you need support from your chapter members. And when you become an RO, you also need support from your fellow ROs. So that's why I keep telling even these current ROs that hey, you guys need to, I don't know, find things that can bring you together. Don't just rely on Professor Lindor to book you a ticket to go somewhere so as you can be like, oh, it's planning time. This is the time that you're gonna pull ourselves together. No, we had, according to when I was an RO, when me and Ethan were ROs, we had meetings where we had meetings with advisors, and then we also had meetings just by ourselves. Like no advisors, no, it is just us. So we can have the meeting for however long we want, and we can have the meeting at any time. So it was like, hey, does this time work for you? Yes, let's have the meeting. So we have the meeting, and that meeting, it was a meeting which it was not called a 30 minutes icebreaker, it was called a 30 minutes yap session. So you just start yapping in there and you just start talking about everything that is happening in your life. Stephanie once got in there and she just started like giving us how she got into an accident and everything. So it's just moments like that that are gonna make you feel comfortable with someone. So yeah, I would say rely on everybody, but don't fully rely on them. Like, don't be like, I'm giving you my whole life. No, I don't know if you get what I mean.
We get you, Raymond. We get you.
I remember, sorry, I remember them. I remember Steph telling us about that. Oh my God. I just had so many flashbacks there. Um, but in terms of support, so Professor Linder being from Grayson College as the regional coordinator, excellent. I had an excellent resource to go to in my chapter in kind of this role because she's in charge. She's been there, done that. Great person to ask questions. Um, I will say a misconception is that Professor Linder is the most terrifying person in the Texas region. She's not.
She is.
Every Raymond, if my car wasn't stuck. But Professor Linder is one of the most supportive people that I've had in my journey. Like she is somebody who is always willing to help. And that goes not just speaking from not as someone from her chapter who served as an RO, but she's willing to help anybody who needs it. So she is an excellent resource to go to in this role. She is all more than willing to talk with you, to show if you have any questions, to answer them. Like, you could not ask for a better resource as a regional coordinator. But to add on to what Raymond said, you will find it in your regional officers, most likely, because nobody else is really going to understand exactly what you're going through, other like your regional officers are, because you're all doing the work together. It's we jokingly called it trauma bonding. It's not really, but that's what we called it. And that support system doesn't happen overnight. You don't just, hey, we're ROs, we support each other, I guess. The support system that the team Raymond and I was on, that was intentionally built. And that took a lot of time, and that took a lot of effort. That took weekly yap sessions when we were supposed to get work done. We had a lot of those where it's like, okay, we need to do this thing. 2 hours later, we still haven't worked on this thing. But that allowed us to build that friendship and camaraderie that when we got to the tough stuff, we knew we could rely on each other. So those were my biggest
Be
wells
be
of support.
before Lavada said something that makes us look like we don't know anything that we're talking about, I just want to say one thing. Uh, when you want to ask a question to Professor Linder, most people are afraid of her, thinking that she might tell them that I don't know what kind of dumb question you're asking. No, don't think that. I mean, sometimes there is dumb questions, but it all depends on how you ask them. If you're actually
Yeah.
asking because you're lost, she will respond to you. But if you're just asking because you don't want to look into it, you're just like, well, I don't see it. And then you're like, I don't see it. Where is it? Well, yeah, she's gonna snap on you.
Professor
So,
Linder brings receipts always.
I
so,
do.
so yeah, you better like go to ask for help because she wants you to ask for help. But I don't know, just get the point. Just don't ask them questions.
But Raymond, I wasn't going to say anything profound. I was going to say ditto on what you guys are saying. Professor Linder, of course, like Ethan, she was my advisor as well. So she was my go-to, especially being for the regional president. She was my go-to person for questions. And then also the leadership team is um, a great group of individuals who've been around for a really long time and they can help you. You have district coordinators, the board, so many different advisors who have so much experience that they can help you through any of your questions or anything like that. But I agree with what the guy said, and then of course the leadership team.
Nice. So here's a fun one. I'm gonna help. First of all, remember this is recorded for posterity. So I say
Oh,
that so
oh
you
boy.
consider what you may answer with. Okay, so if things are not supposed to be public, this is not the forum. Right? What's your favorite RO memory? That is for public consumption.
I will say this. One of our favorite things our RO team did, Raymond Conver. I point this way. Lavada is this way. Every time I'm referring to Raymond. Really point this way. Um, one of the things we always did when we got together and we had downtime, our favorite thing was we always played the card game Phase 10. That was, yeah, I know I definitely stole yours, Raymond, which is why I wanted to jump on this first. Because I couldn't think of a second. But those were so much fun. Just being together and like laughing and just having the best time.
Those were loud. That's
They
what those
were
were.
loud games.
Yeah.
They often got violent.
Yeah.
Many things were said, weapons were drawn.
Yeah.
I do have pictures and video proof of all of this. I actually I'll tell you a funny story. I sent a we were in Mississippi. Professor Linder, Dr. Hargis, and the regional officers, um, uh, they took us to Jackson, Mississippi to Phi Theta Kappa headquarters. And the first night we were there, we all got together and played Phase 10 in a hotel room. And Kaylee, who was our regional president, she had an affinity for knives, and she always liked jokingly to show the knives. And so, in one particular moment, she was brandishing a knife. I snapped a photo, sent it to Professor Linder, and she posted it on the Regents page.
I did. It's like a little Easter egg.
It was funny.
Hey, you
So,
have to be looking
so
for it.
that was a fun reveal in the middle of the card game. It's like, oh my God, she posted it on the page.
I did.
So that probably takes the of all the Phase 10 games we had, that one took the cake.
Yeah.
I think for us, probably just the bonding time that we got to have, like on the trip to headquarters, the drive up, the drive back. Since we're so far apart, it gives us time to, other than work, I mean, we were still working, but we still get time to, get to know each other better, learn each other better. And then I like when we did like when we were doing our YouTube videos and things like that, there were so many bloopers, and I wish we would have kept all of the bad videos, but there were so many bloopers of us falling out of the chair or falling off the table, just crazy things, just trying to make the video really funny or engaging and not boring. Um, and I guess that's what we should have done. We should have posted the bloopers of the videos, and that would have been better than the actual videos. But we had so much fun just like making those videos, and just anytime we're together in person was so much better than, when we were online. So we tried to make the best of it whenever we were together.
Maybe I need to keep a blooper reel of every team. Do that at the end of
Yes.
the year.
Yes.
That'd be great. All right, Raymond, what's your favorite RO memory?
I don't have one.
Oh my
Ethan just
God.
Ethan just said it. But no, it was the time that we played cards. I like that time because we had Dominica, who she was a mother of three. Yes, a mother of three. And oh, I said she was. She is a mother of three. She is a mother of three. And
And the children are still alive, yes.
yes, they are still alive. Yes, all of them. And she made us feel like, I don't know, it is at that moment that we didn't feel like we are all the same,
Mhm.
which was something that you guys need to like I don't know, bring up in your team. If you have someone elder, it's like, I mean, if they want to look and feel like an elder person, well, I don't know, that's them. But for us, Dee didn't want that. She wanted us to all feel the same. She wanted us to all be like, hey, we're in this. Once I leave here, I'm gonna go back to being a mother. But once I'm here, I am just a student, just like y'all, and I'm also a regional officer, just like y'all. So that really made us feel comfortable with her. It would make us ask her any questions, reach out to her. So yeah, that time we played cards up to 4 a.m. That was, yes,
That was a choice. May not have been the best choice.
was the best choice.
That was the best choice. Okay.
Um, one thing I do kind of want to note on the notion of spending time together, you don't spend as much time in person together as you think you would.
Mhm.
Cherish the time you spend together.
That's true. All right, so another question we have, so this will be kind of the last big question. I have one very short to end us with, but the question is, what made you want to run? Like, what was the deciding factor that made you say, I want to do this?
My chapter. My chapter was the deciding factor. If it was left up to me, I would have chickened out and not wanted to do it. deep inside, I wanted to, but I was so afraid and I didn't have the confidence in myself that I would be a good representative. And so my chapter was really the final decision maker that made me decide, you know what, I'm going to do this. They believe in me so much. So I'm going to do it. So for me, it was the chapter. I wanted to do it, but I was so afraid. And they just gave me the courage to just say, hey, we're going to do this. We're going to win and you're going to be great. So
One of the things that was really neat in my early experiences in Phi Theta Kappa is I got to meet and become really good friends with the regional officers. And so I got to know them really well. I got to become friends with a lot of them, and because of that, I got to really see their experience through a really neat lens, and I got to see every time I saw them, I just saw how much they were doing and how much they grew, and the work that they were doing. And it was really meaningful and impactful the more I learned. And it really um, inspired me. Like, I want to become like them. Like,
Mhm.
I want to be that's the kind of leader I want to be. Like somebody who always is learning, who always wants to grow, who makes lasting change. And so I was fortunate enough to have really good friends who inspired me to run.
I did not want to run. So just to make that clear, I was offered
Mhm.
because, as I said, I was a substitute. So, and this is also to point out that if you're a substitute, that doesn't make you that, oh, you are the second choice. Well, yeah, technically you are the second choice, but it also makes you that maybe you're gonna do better. But I am thankful of Dr. Hargis. She's the one who was like, hey, I think you'll do great. And I was like, I don't think so. And she said that if you don't do great, actually, no, she didn't say that. I don't know what she said, but all I remember is that I told her that, hey, if I don't like it, you're pulling me out, or I'm not doing this. And she said, yeah. She said, okay. I don't know how she agreed to that, but
Because she knew.
and yeah, so I basically cut a deal, but it was all thanks to my advisor. And when I was lost, yes, I did go to ask her. Most people think that Dr. Hargis doesn't know anything, which, yeah, she does look like she doesn't know anything, but she knows a lot because she is from the leadership team. The leadership team is basically like one body, and all of them, you have answers, you have questions. You have questions, you ask them, they will have answers. And that's why there is the leadership team, which consists of advisors from every district. So I don't know what kind of questions that they can't answer. So yeah,
Hashtag listen to your advisor. We often see things in you before you see them in yourselves.
yeah, she saw that I was poor and I just needed money. So she just took me here.
Oh my gosh. I'm gonna let Harkus borrow my beating stick.
That was a we moved on from the question. That was a joke I was going to make because Raymond talked about the RO team being the support system, and Hargis was right.
Mhm. I know, I laughed. She shall talk to you later about that.
They helped me. She basically put me in here. No, I'm just joking. She helped me a lot. It's just
Yes.
that
And still does.
I feel like karma just decided, was like, you know what? I'm gonna separate you two guys. So during my term as RO, she was sick. She didn't
Oh.
come in. So I didn't see her the whole time. So I was like, okay, every trip that I go, she was not there. I was like, okay, so did you just like throw me into this?
Yeah.
And then during my okay, she was there when I was doing IO. I think she was like,
Uh-huh.
I'll redeem myself and I'll help you doing RO. IO.
Oh my God. Or she knew you'd be taken care of. How's that?
No, but yeah, she did a very she was my sole supporter.
My goodness. All right. So here's the final question. Would you do it again?
Absolutely.
1000% I would.
I would do again from the part where you win. That's the part where I'll do it
From the
again.
beginning.
From
Yeah.
that part. Before that part, I won't do it again. No, I'll do it again. It was a great experience, all of it.
Excellent.
As Ethan mentioned earlier, when your term was over and he cried,
Mhm.
I felt like I had just learned everything and now I'm ready. Let me do it again. I
Oh,
could be so great now. Let me do it again.
oh my God, to go back to the beginning with all the skills you
I
learned as an
know.
RO, we'd be
Kill it.
unstoppable.
I'll kill it.
All right, we turn you loose in the world with all your newly acquired skills. Looky there. Well, thank you so much to our pros for sharing their experiences with us. We really appreciate it. And I'm going to harken back to Lavada's comment about legacy. That is what makes the Texas region great. It's something that is continually being built. It is the strength of everybody who's came before, and it's everyone who's going to come in the future. And so you can be part of that legacy. So if you are at all questioning whether you should run, do it. It's going to be an amazing experience. You will be tested, you will do work, and you will learn and grow and learn things about yourself that you never before knew. And so I couldn't say this from an advisor and RC perspective, but it's because we have the lived experience of working with amazing students. So encourage you to run, and then you can join the group of what we call the has-beens. Once you're done, Isaac is always there to welcome all the outgoing ROs into the has-been club, as he says. But it's a good group, and I especially am looking forward to TRC coming up because a lot of former regional officers come to that. We may only see them once a year, and it may be just at TRC, but it's lovely. It's a nice reunion. So you can join that really amazing club of prior regional officers. But if you have any additional questions, I know any of the three on here tonight will be happy to answer those questions for you. Obviously, please reach out to Dr. Hargis or myself if you have questions, and the current regional officers as well. We're all eager to provide support and answer questions you may have. We want this to be an amazing experience. So thank you again for joining us. Thank you for the questions, and hope you have a good evening.